to the first session of Day 2 of the Northeast India Youth Leaders Conclave. This will be a panel discussion on the topic, Unleashing Innovation and Entrepreneurship for Economic Transformation of the Northeast. We have three incredible individuals here. I've had the privilege to interact with all three of them, and I have to point out that they are one of the most humble individuals I've met. I have to also point out that they are surprisingly all engineers. So probably for startups to sail through, maybe we need some kind of skills which we are not aware of. Before we proceed into the discussion, I want to quickly give you an overview about this session. The bios are mentioned in the handbook, so I will not go in detail to explain about them. But I hope you'll take time to, or probably you have already an idea about them and research about the individuals here today. We have an exceptional group of speakers here. We will be discussing on the scope of small and medium-sized entrepreneurship in the Northeast. According to the United Nations and the World Bank, over 90% of the businesses globally are micro, small, and medium-sized entrepreneurs, and they generate scalable companies and generate a lot of employment around the world. What is the scope of this in the Northeast? Are we looking at the right direction? What are the industries that the Northeast should be looking at? These are some of the questions that we want to address today, but most importantly, we want to hear their stories of how they started from ground zero to where they are today. We have with us Ms. Rita Tage on my extreme left. She is the founder of Naara Aaba Kiwi Winery from Zero Valley, Arunachal Pradesh. Next to her, we have Mr. Imtisunep Longchar. He is the co-founder of Island Law, Dimapur, Nagaland. And we have Mr. Nilotpal Boruah, the CEO of TechVariable from Guwahati, Assam. Thank you so much for your presence with us here today. We understand every minute of yours is worth thousands of rupees. We're really grateful. We're going to get into valuations very soon. Yes, so without further ado, we want to start with Ms. Rita. Please take as much time as you want, and maybe we can begin with a common question for all the speakers here. Please share about what made you to start the company that you have today, what inspired you, and the journey as an entrepreneur.
Thank you so much for the generous introduction, and a very good morning to all of you. I feel extremely happy to be here in Kohima today, and the moment I got an invitation, I decided that I should especially meet the youths. Now it's such a good thing, and to share about my story. We started this company in the year 2017. Actually, we launched a brand called Naara Aaba, which makes the first, we are the first in the country to start a kiwi winery. So, as I was introduced, I studied engineering. I'm a BTech in agricultural engineering. I studied in Nearest, and my husband, who is the founder along with me for the winery, for Naara Aaba brands. He is an electrical engineer. And I was working with the government department for many years. But the idea of having a winery, it actually came from my husband. He loves wine, and he wanted to start a winery. And yeah, I was just telling here, we started with bringing small wine bottles to our home, and then started with tasting and then discussions over that. And initially I was a little bit reluctant on starting this journey because uh, uh, it would be a huge cost to start as a first generation. And at that time, I had small kids, so won't be able to devote time, and we had very little resource. So I was a bit reluctant, but then when I did a little bit of socio-economic research on my own, then I was fully convinced that if we have a winery, then we could procure the fruits, kiwi fruits in bulk, and then use it in winery, and then turn it into wines, and that's how the idea started. And my personal motivation was also that I come from a farming family. So this huge amount of kiwi and other fruits, I have seen it right from my childhood. At that time, not kiwi, but other fruits like apples and plums and pears. A lot of fruits were there in a place, and it was just rotting. I mean, no buyers. So the same story, even after 30, 40 years, the same story was there. So then I decided wine is after all a food processing thing, and then winery is nothing but a food processing unit. So if we have a winery and then consume the fruits in bulk, then it's going to be a huge impact socioeconomically. And today I feel happy to see that farmers are able to sell the fruits to winery. And apart from that, we are also the farmers are also able to sell the fruits. They are able to export the fruits to domestic, to other bigger markets they have found. And just as we planned, just as we dreamt, now we see that farmers are very well organized, and their fruits are being booked from the farm gate itself. And then we see a lot of multinational companies, they buy the fresh fruits. And what we also see is that a lot of the cultivation of kiwi fruits is growing at an exponential rate in our place in Zero and entire Arunachal. So in the beginning, when we saw, what we saw is that there were no there were no farmers to actually take even the free saplings for kiwi fruits. But now the farmers themselves, they have their own kiwi nurseries, and they are exporting. And they're exporting in bulk quantities like 10, 20,000 like that. So that's how the impact has been. And my winery is is a place of learning for many institutes. Like we have youths, BSc Agri and horticulture students doing internship in my winery. And then also we have got students from commerce, from MBA students, then economic students, they come and do internship in our place. So for me, this journey has been very enriching. So I took a long time. So.
No, that's completely all right. Yeah, if you want to continue.
Yeah,
I can follow up with questions later.
Yeah, okay.
Great, thank you so much. What an inspiration. All right, I will go on to Imtisunep now, developing one of the leading e-commerce in business in the Northeast, the go-to for a lot of indigenous products. Please share with us why you started this and the inspiration behind.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Northeast leaders. I guess I've never seen the entire Northeast sitting in one hall. This must be my first time, to be honest. So, how we started was, I was working in an intellectual property rights company. I was working for Colgate-Palmolive. Anyone knows Colgate-Palmolive? Everyone knows, I guess, because toothpaste, right? But then I think they have a lot of more products than toothpaste that we know. So back 2013, I was working in a company for Colgate, and I was doing a lot of research. I was in intellectual property for their trademarks and whatnot. So we were researching about any trademark that was available in Afghanistan, in Bangladesh, or any corner of the world. So I realized something. Okay, let's try to search Northeast in Google. you know what? There was hardly anything that was talking about Northeast except those government websites that was broken. Like if you click any link, the website does not open. And I'm sure, is there anyone from NIC? Because most of the websites were developed by NIC. So no hard feelings for them. But then that was the thing that I realized. Okay, there's no Northeast related talks in the website, or say in the internet, over the internet. And especially the deep concern was for me was the products. So we get the Kashmiri products online. Let me say we get it on Amazon, we get it on Flipkart, anywhere. We get that what do you call it, chili from Kerala, that salty chili from Kerala. Okay, so we get almost all the products that are from India are available online somewhere or the other. But then it was very difficult for me to cite a website or someone talking online about the products that are produced in Northeast. So, and moreover, since I was in Delhi, the thing was every time I had to, every time I had the crave of eating, say, home cooked food, or say simple example as smoked pork, how can I have to call up my mom, right? Mom, you have to dry it for me, like half kilo, 10 kilo, whatever. So she has to go to the market, right? Buy pork, chop it, cut it, dry it for 2 days, right? And then pack it nicely and then ship it, right? Ship it, matlab courier it. So the thing was, there was our great India speed post, right? Speed post. So by the time I get the package in my hand, there would be a big hole in the package because the package is eaten by rats, because I'm sure the rats like smoked pork as well, just like me. So that's how. So that was a hassle that my mom did for me. And I'm sure there were thousands and lakhs of people who must have felt the same situation just like me, right? So, okay, why not? Can we do something about it? Can we bring, because we can talk a lot about Northeast as a scenery, as a tourism, as culture, everything, right? But what I thought was, we can talk a lot more stories. We can bring up thousands and crores of stories in each product. So it's not the product that we're trying to sell. It's the story behind the product. And there are so many fascinating stories, just like Ma'am Rita's story, right? Unluckily, we cannot sell, like wine online. So otherwise, yeah, wine would have been there in our websites as well. So we have evolved. So that was how we started. And then we wanted to bring Northeast stories and products. So some day ago, I met a journalist, and he said, I wanted to be the best storyteller. I met Karma, actually. So he said, is Mojo? So I said, I want to be the best storyteller in the world. I'm the best storyteller in the world. And then on the counter, I said, I want to be the best storyteller of the products produced in Northeast India. That's how we want to spread the message. So they'll be talking about politics and whatnot. I'll be talking about products. So that's how we started. It's a long, crucial, rock bottom stories of 10 years, maybe down this session. We have 2 hours. Maybe I will bore you more with my stories. Thank you.
Over to you, Nilotpal. How does a tech industry emerge from the Northeast? How did you manage Dubai and US sitting in Guwahati? Please share your story.
Hey, thank you. It's an honor to share the stage with 2 fellow entrepreneurs, and Tage Rita, she is one of the pioneers of the whole industry, and we've been reading and hearing her story a lot. Okay, she's a global icon now. Give her a big hand. And first and foremost, just thank you for organizing this event. Okay, this is really commendable, and I never thought that such an event could be organized in Northeast India. It was always a dream to have so many entrepreneurs or activists to have under one roof. So we tried to organize one just get together of, or you can say networking event for fellow entrepreneurs in 2016-17. Probably 8 or 10 turned up. Then we thought that okay, this is not the right time probably, but to see all so many huge number in under one roof, it's really heartening for me. Okay, just congratulations all of you. You have been handpicked, from a probably a large number. Okay, and thank you for the organizers. Okay, we should have this more often. So why I started and how I started. Okay, I'll just keep it short. So right after my graduation, I went to Tata Consultancy Services. Okay, and TCS was of course not a dream job. I just went there. Okay, just not knowing what to do next. Okay, so I was in Kerala. I was in Delhi for 2 years. Actually, less than 2 years. So during that time, I heard a common story among all Northeasterners. Okay, the story was like this: that I want to go home. I have some family obligations. My girlfriend, boyfriend is there. I want to get married over there. My parents are getting old. Okay, there's some problem going on in my village. I have to be there. Okay, so this story was, not just for young people. This was a common story for for 50-year-old guy, for a 30-year-old, 40-year-old, doesn't matter. It was the same story. So. But at that point of time, while I was in Delhi in TCS, I didn't have any plan to start a IT company. Okay, because I had other goals. My next plan was that I was supposed to go for my master's in Europe. I had already applied for MS in mechanical, and I actually got 3-4 invitation letters, or you can say offer letters from those universities. So I was just about to go back to go to Europe. And I resigned my job and came to Guwahati. Okay, but I had some free time, buffer time in between, taking my flight and so I was staying with my friends in Guwahati. I'm not from Guwahati. Okay, my hometown is around 500 kilometers from Guwahati. So how long can you stay home as a bachelor? Like you need to have your parties before going to Europe. So at that point of time, lot of my friends were doing studies for UPSC, APSC, or all those state bank, bank exams, SSCs. Okay, so you can say most of them were jobless. So we just got together every day, went to the Bihu functions, and so by the time I spent 1-2 months in Guwahati, I again felt a connection that I always had. Okay, so those stories that I heard in Delhi, like I have to stay back, I have to come back to Guwahati. There is no IT job in Guwahati or in Assam or in Northeast even. So what's my next career move? Okay, so those stories came back to me. So then I started thinking, okay, the same situation is going to happen to me in probably, I don't know when, but it's bound to happen sooner or later. My brother had already left the country, so I had no other option. So I thought that, okay, now I can go to for my master's. What happens next? So at that point of time, I thought that, okay, I'll do something here. I'm not sure yet what I will do here, but I'll find something to do here. Okay, and that's why I actually dropped the plan. So now that I didn't have any next plan to do, so I started talking with my friends, okay, what should I do? But I didn't want to get into those exams or the public service commissions. I'm not saying those are bad or those are. I'm not comparing them with any aspect, but it's just that I thought that, okay, this is not for me. I'm sacrificing something else, so I better do something that can help, that can give me more control of what I do next. Okay, because I have already probably wasted 2-3 years trying to follow a already set path. Okay, which I probably didn't plan it out properly. Okay, so that's the reason I stayed back in Guwahati, and so IT company was just one option of starting different ideas. Like, okay, so when me and my friends used to discuss, okay, what should we do? So my friends would sometimes even say, let's open a Harley Davidson showroom. Okay, like crazy ideas from top to bottom. So someone would say, let's start a pharmacy. let's start, I mean, everything you can think of, okay? So finally, how TechVariable started was simple reason. I had no money, I had no savings. Of course, TCS pays you very less in the early years. So I wasted all, whatever savings I had, I didn't have any money. So, so whatever business plan I have to make next should not involve any capital or any cost, because I had none. Okay, of course, my parent would not give me anything, and I don't know where. So these terms like venture capitalism, fundraising, all we never heard of those things when I started. Okay, so that's why we started exploring ideas that needed the least amount of capital. Okay, so I already had the laptop, so I knew that I had to do something with the laptop. Okay, so that's how I thought that, okay, forget Harley Davidson, we'll start something related to, that can be done over the internet. Okay, so that's how the concept of TechVariable was born, that will get into IT, because I spent almost 2 years in a software company, so I knew that, okay, I can start from there. Okay, I didn't know what I will do, what services I will do, what kind of products we are going to make, if we are going to build any products. But that's how it got started. So it was just a random decision of my life, and I just called up 2 of my guys. Okay, so he was also a homesick guy who was already working in TCS Mumbai. So I called him, hey, do you want to come back to Assam someday? And he said, okay, yes, definitely. Okay, so here is my fantastic plan. Let's build some school management ERP system software, all those online softwares that we have, like for attendance, timetable. Okay, so this is a groundbreaking idea that I have. We'll create the software, we'll sell it across Assam, across Northeast. We'll make huge amount of money. So I said, okay, you better build the software now. I'll go and sell it to all others. So he was probably doing double shifts. So he was working in TCS and he was building the software at his home. And the reality today is that we never sold one of those softwares, okay, to any schools, okay? So we realized that, okay, Assam is not the right market to sell a online software, okay, because it doesn't matter how big the school or institutions were, they're not going to pay 5,000, 10,000, they're not even going to use it if we give them for free, okay? So sooner or later, we dropped the idea, okay, we cannot survive with this, so we said, okay, next plan, we'll do whatever job we get, okay? So we started meeting all people, okay, we went to all government departments, we went to all big, small, organizations, tea states, travel agencies, anything that can have a website. We started from zero, okay. So we said, okay, give me something, I'll build a website for you. That's all we wanted to do. So the groundbreaking idea didn't work. So that's how we have been re-evaluating our business approach, okay. So currently, even now, we are on our transition to become a, say, data company, okay? Because we are almost fed up of doing, software services for clients, and so this is our next strategy. So probably in 2 years, if I sit in another meeting, I'll say, okay, that was such a stupid idea, or maybe it will work, okay? So it works, but we're trying to reevaluate everything, year after year. So that's how TechVariable was born, and this is my story so far. Probably Q&A will give you more insights about what we've been doing. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I've had a laptop for 15 years, but a tech company never came out as yet. We have 100 young leaders, and thank you for pointing that out. Because of the visionary initiative of National Foundation for India, we are all gathered here, and the generous contribution, this event is co-funded by the European Union, and we are also organizing this event in collaboration with the Directorate of Youth Resources and Sports, Government of Nagaland, and we have NIMAN, which is a youth-led organization in the Northeast, as a knowledge and technical partner. All the states from the Northeast are represented here. The 100 young leaders represents political activists, young bureaucrats, aspiring bureaucrats. We have young entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, PhD scholars, lawyers. These are some of the few individuals I've met. We have content creators, influencers amongst the delegates here. So we hope that we will dig further and probe them with more questions. I will move on to Rita now. Making something into an international business, making it scalable, but starting with ground zero, access to funding is always a challenge for a lot of young entrepreneurs or a lot of entrepreneurs. if you can share your journey on how you manage accessing funds, maybe the challenges, opportunities, and some strategies for us.
Okay, so for this question, for me, in my journey, like I would say funding was not a very big challenge for me. Right from the beginning, when we started with the idea, so first thing that we could approach was initially, of course, like when we have the idea and then you share it, like no one would actually amongst friends and family or any companies would like to fund. Because I mean, it is said that business has to be seen from the place where it comes also. So from that angle and from the place where we stay and all that, no, it doesn't, this one, as our colleague was telling about your thing also. So from particular place, certain things doesn't sell. So we started with asking funds from bank, and banks had agreed to us because we had this the support. There was a like the support comes from the government. So government support, in a sense, it was not a physical support, but there is something called the Arunachal Pradesh State Wine Policy. I keep telling this everywhere I go, wherever I go, and because so many youths call me up from Assam, from other states, and even from mainland other states also. They call up and they ask like how to start a winery, from where to start, and all that. So we had something called the Arunachal Pradesh State Wine Policy 2015. Where it states about their supports, how the government would support an entrepreneur, whoever is willing to start a winery, make use of the fruits available locally. So with that, showing that, reading all those policy thing, and then we made a plan, we made a DPR, how we are going to manufacture it, from where we're going to collect the raw material, and how we are going to, where and how we are going to sell it. So with this idea, we went to a bank. And bankers also, we had this some very good rapport with the bank people. And I must say the first banker friends that we had from Nagaland. So there were some people, some bankers working with Canara Bank in Itanagar. So they were very friendly, and then they said, I think these two couple, I mean, I'm sure they'll do that. I mean, they had that kind of perception about us. And we submitted, and they supported. They were very happy, you know, because as I said, the policy itself was there. Then thereafter, yes, we went with that money, we went into bringing plants and machineries and other things requirement. And thereafter, it's not just getting, because I see that many in our place and maybe other places also, we see that, you know, people take support and thereafter, like, they don't do much on the ground. But we were like, as we were first generations, and we worked very hard. It was like do or a like do or a die, but then don't die before you do. And if you do it, you never die, isn't it? So that situation we worked, and we got the product out the next year. And then the product was, I mean, we got community support, actually. The idea was such that, you know, our people also, they loved it, because farmers were fed up with the fruits rotting on the ground. They used to feed it to cattle, they used to feed it to pigs. Now we also rear lots of pigs there. So they used to feed, and the farmers, they confessed in front of media and the government that they used to feed kiwi fruits to their pigs, and they eat in the morning, by evening they don't eat. The next day it rots. I mean, lots of fruits were there like that. So, and the moment initially when we started, like, lot of fruits they used to give to us, like some of them they gave free only. Take it and make it a product like that. So that way. And thereafter, again, when it comes to funding, I must say, like, I think you need to keep your records properly. So in this context, like, even myself, I'm still learning, like, we all have to have the financial literacy. Which is very important, you know, if you want to go further as a business, if you want to grow your business, if you want to build a brand, if you're thinking of a legacy, then you have to have a proper record. Like, and certain like there are different kinds of business, right? Startups or entrepreneurs, like we have got different, like some are there which can be switched on, like Nilotpal, you have, like you can switch on your idea from one to another, like within months and within years, like that. But there are certain businesses for which it takes time to build a brand. And if you build a brand, then you can take it forward, and it becomes a, you can make it a legacy. So, it depends on the business idea also, how you build it. And for funding, again, like when I went to Shark Tank India, I must say, like, I want to tell that it's a very good show, it's a very good place, a very good platform. And I was followed for one complete year. They followed, they wrote to me, and they said, we want you to come to this platform and then, pitch your business. And I was of the opinion, see, honestly, I was thinking like, see, like I'm from Northeast. And if I go there, I mean, who will like it, that way? That kind of thoda sa mind mein tha, even at this stage also, at this age. Like, I had that. But they followed, and then they said, Ki, you have to do it, please come and do that. So then, since they were very persistent, so I submitted, and then they accepted. And then when you go to such platforms, and when you go to this one for funding, any agency, any authority, anywhere you go, you have to be very like so you have to be yourself, very honest, and then you have to keep the records. Record speaks. You don't have to say much. So that way, when I went, also like they were very impressed. First of all, like the product, I must say, what we are doing. Okay, the idea, and then thereafter how we present ourselves, and then the records that we had. So with that, anyone can, anyone will give funding, I would say. And then Shark Tank also, they would definitely would have given us more money. But then we were thinking, ki, chalo, we'll just get a deal, because like we just want to encourage people, like especially notice youths ko thoda sa, they'll feel ki ha, Shark Tank mein jaake bhi we can get a deal like that. So we made it in a such a way ki chalo, we get a deal, and they agreed. All the 5 sharks, they were impressed. They even tasted a wine in the on the stage itself. They tasted, and they were saying, before we went back, like after finishing the pitching, they were telling, we were told ki, you have to give these products na, कि हमारा साथ कुछ रखना है. Then we gave like two bottles and 2 variants of each to the sharks we presented. I mean, we kept it for them, and thereafter we came back. And after that, like after that session also, they followed us, we too followed them, and then there's a process called the due diligence have to be done. But I said ki we are in the process of expanding and upgrading the winery, and then our bucket list, our bucket is bigger, and we want a bigger investment. So then they said ki, so if you say that, then you have to put up in the mail and say that you want this, that way. So then I put it on hold, and they were asking like, give us a plan for 5 years, just 5 years. So imagine this sharks, the investors, like they're so huge, isn't it? They're so big. So like with the small quantity of, as of now, it's not very small. It's a sizable quantity that we produce, but we want a bigger bucket. Like we want to go pan-India. So once we are fully ready, then we'll ask them to, that way we kept it on hold. Likewise, there are so many like things. If you're doing it very like honestly, if you do it, and if you're really doing it, and if you have the records, then like no one, you'll get investment for sure. And last year I was invited by US Department of States for a women's mentoring program. There were only 15 women across the world selected for this mentoring program. Even there also, there were so many, like from entrepreneurs like me, then there were like women, human rights activists, there were lawyers, there were women from education sector, like that. Even there also, we met some of the, America's investment bankers. What's that called? But I remember the lady's name, Seema Hingorani, his bank naam. Why am I forgetting? Yeah, she told me to write, and they were impressed with the idea. So it depends on, like how you present and what you do. Okay, so and again, I must say it's the records that speaks. Now keep the records, and then whoever wants to go for investment, ना financial literacy होना है. आपका जो काम करता है, the records, it has to be in your fingertips. ना आप क्या कर रहा है? However big, however small, and what they also want to see is the future. ना आप कितना visionary है? ना वो important है. It's not just for कि आज fund लेगा, then वो खत्म हो गया, then your आपका business is also not growing. ऐसा नहीं होगा. You have to be, like आपका vision को fully present कर सकना पड़ेगा. That's all. And notice we say like we have advantage and disadvantage दोनों ही है. But then जहाँ पे challenges बहुत ज़्यादा है, वहाँ पे आपका opportunity भी बहुत ज़्यादा है. That's what I feel so. So investment के लिए don't worry. Start with your idea from the scratch. थोड़ा sacrifice करो, and then prove it. ना थोड़ा prove करके दिखाओ, then a lot will come.
Thank you so much for the reassurance and the optimism, and also reassuring us with the potential that there is for businesses to grow, for startups to grow, and that there is investment out there. I will move on to Imtisunep now. Maybe if you can build on this, on access to funding, maybe the scenario in Nagaland might be better or worse. Maybe your journey could have been different. Maybe if you can shed some light on your journey when you started, the investment opportunities and the financing gaps and opportunities in Nagaland and Northeast.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. Yeah, as ma'am just said how she started, let me put a bit of my story as well. Does anyone know what's Provident Fund, PF? So when we were bachelors and then we live in Delhi, we on a rent, we don't save money. And then PF is the only money that's being saved by themselves, by the company, right? So, and then, to be honest, I started this business with the small PF that we had, like 60,000 something, right? I told my mom, you take this money, come on. No, I've never given you anything the entire years I've worked in Delhi. Take it. He said, what will I do with this money? Take it back. So I said, chalo theek hai, I'll take it, I'll do something about it. So you know what, with that 60,000, what you do? You waste the money again. So the fancy idea that he just told about was, we have created the website, the website looks fancy, like everything is set, but then there's no product, right? So we have this infamous idea of, okay, let's make t-shirts, So we got a vendor from Bangalore, I think Bangalore, a long time ago, and then we met them, like print so many, Northeast related prints on the t-shirt. Okay, we never realized the size though, when we reached. And it was so big, everything was like so, oh my God, how are we going to sell this? And you know what, it never sold. So that's how we are very good at, wasting our money. So, but then you learn, of course, and then as ma'am said, you have to know your books. It's in accounting, they call it books, I guess, right? So we have to be, and there's no upai in business, nah, that without this, knowing these books, that means the balance sheet, the profit and loss, nah, you have to know it, right? That's one good thing we all will know. There's no other way, because the CA might cheat you maybe if you don't know how to read the books. So about finance, I have a very interesting story. I guess back in 2017-ish, so we went to the same bank in Dimapur, and then the story is a bit different than hers. So we went inside. Of course, we had a contact that, okay, you go to this bank, meet the manager. I've already, like a friend of mine, a junior, like in colleges, we have so many juniors, and juniors are like forever brothers and sisters kind of a thing. Like you have So many WhatsApp group, Northeast group, Eastern group, Nagaland group, whatnot group, India group, US group, whatnot group, right? So one of my junior told me, okay, she's a friend of mine, go meet the manager. And he said, chalo, yeah, we also need bank finance. So we went inside the cabin of that manager with our idea of e-commerce. We said, ma'am, we came here for a reference for a business loan. And then she asked, the manager asked, what's your business type? What's your business, right? So we said, it's an internet-based business. And you know what she said? We stood there for 30 seconds. We were not even asked to sit, and then get out. Internet business, that means Facebook business. We are trying to sell something on Facebook. Oh my God, that's how, we get stories from different angles. So, but then we started building. The thing is, the biggest issue with any banks or any financial institution is always trust. They don't trust us. They don't trust any one of us. They don't trust, if you go for any loan, they won't trust you. But then they will be very good at giving you a credit card. Because they're going to juice you out in maybe, say, 10 years at 34, 35% of interest rate. So we went there. I mean, now, later on, we started building financial trust with financial institutions that are not regular banks, right? So if one door gets closed, the other, you have to keep on digging it. Like, you have to keep on hammering yourself. That means, I think it's not just about entrepreneurship, it's about you and your profession. People will tell you so many things that, okay, you cannot do that, you cannot do this. Are you stupid that you're doing this? Pakala, right? So there's so many things that comes up. But then the thing is, how much people hammers you on your head, that means you have to be the iron that does not, break. And then we went through many financial rounds and whatnot. Now, it's a secret, but then don't tell anyone. You're only 100 people. We went through net fee venture capital. So we also thought, okay, why not we pitch into Sequoia Capital and the big giants that are there. So, but then, okay, let's start with the people who knows us much better. So there are two wings in, NetFee, Northeast Financial Institution, right? So they have two wings. One is the venture capital fund, one is the loan fund. So we said, okay, we don't have loan because I don't have a car to collateral. I don't have a land in my name. My dad is not putting my name in the, a land record till today. So I don't have any chance to get a loan because I don't have a mortgage to give. Right, so I thought, okay, let's go for the venture fund. So, and as we went through so many rigorous questions and whatnot, and then finally, the most interesting part is the due diligence, as ma'am said, DD. You know what? It generally is done by a chartered accountant of their trusted chartered accountant, but then they let us give all the details. And then it took us nearly 1 year to complete the detail. DD, it's called due diligence. That means due diligence, what color shoe did you wear on the start day of your business? That's how they ask questions. What was the first day that you sell your product? What was the first product? What was the first month revenue? So and then what was yesterday's sale? That means it's crazy if we did not keep the record. Example, so we migrated as a proprietorship firm to private limited company, as a company, only in 2016. But then we started our enterprise back in 2014. That means there's a gap of 2 years, right? If we did not keep the Excel sheet that has been there, the records, we could not give them the details. So I think banks wants to see how much loss that you went through especially the VCs. If you're going to give you the money, they want us to be super honest with them. I guess that's one tech that I can give it to you. And then yeah, record keeping is like, it's super important for all of us to pay our loans and CC bills. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about finance. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. The challenge of access to funding is a story that a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs in the Northeast do share. We will later on go into existing government policies and recommendations, so we will venture into that in a while. A question to Nilotpal. How did you manage to sustain or survive or make TechVariable a bootstrap company? Why did you not seek for angel investors or VCs?
Thank you. So let me give you a little bit context, okay? So how we got started. As like I said, I was already in Assam and trying to find an idea to work on. So I'll tell you a bit about my co-founders, who they are. So at that time I had no job. I was just thinking about starting something. So at that point of time, there was this guy who just came back after doing his master's from NIT Warangal. So he was a gold medalist in automobile engineering. So he joined a small job in Guwahati, and he already had got a job in Mercedes-Benz, but he could not leave because he just had a mother who he needed to take care of. So Guwahati was the only option, and he had to remain. Okay, so we came across each other, and he became my roommate. So both of us rented a house. So I had no income, and whatever income he was getting, he used to put some amount into the rent, and I arranged some money from my friends. My parents were obviously not going to help me because I was not preparing for government exams, so that the door was closed for me. So rent and food was the biggest challenge for us at that point of time. So for good or for bad, after 2-3 months, he quit his job and said, "Hey, I'm going to join you in your journey." Okay, so then now what we had is we had 2 guys who are not earning, living on rent. Okay, so then we thought, okay, we'll keep on, we'll try to find clients. We had this software, right, school software in mind. Okay, so we were going to schools with this idea, and somehow we were just surviving on rent and food. Okay, so if you remember, I told you about my another co-founder who was in TCS. Okay, so he came and joined us after 6 months. So we in the meantime we got small not software, website development projects, like which paid 10, 20, 30,000 rupees. Okay, and so whatever little profit we made, it directly went to rent. Okay, so after around 6 months, my friend quit his job and came back. So now we had 3 people who are not earning, living under the same roof. Okay, so so that's what the situation was. So we were getting desperate, and so I'll tell you what, back in those days, like in 2015, 16, internet was not a luxury like this. Okay, so we actually went to offices that had broadband connections because we needed high speed internet, and we were just using this Tata Photon dongles, if you remember. So that's how it was going on for us. And so whenever we went to the companies to meet prospective clients, they either treated us as beggars or as losers. Okay, that was the only 2 options, because the words like startups, entrepreneurs, it was not popular. It was not a common language at that point of time, right? So so we came to the realization that, okay, there is no point talking to people who they believed in businesses, of course, but they were not believing on softwares because they cannot see what we are selling. They cannot see the progression where it's going to be. All right. So very soon we came to the realization that, okay, we are probably talking to the wrong people. We need to find our own clients somehow and build on capitalizing on the whatever profits we made. Okay, and then when those people started treating us as losers and beggars, so we thought that, okay, they even used to ask us questions like, hey, if we pay you an advance money, will you take it and run away? So we said that, okay, that's not going to happen. We actually have registered a small partnership firm. And so it came to such a point that we needed to have an actual office. Till then we were working out of our rented apartment. So to build an office, we need some money, right? So so I took 30,000 rupees from my aunt because my parents were not giving me any. So my friend who came from TCS, he had some savings made, okay? So he gave me some money. So around probably 1 lakh we collected from family and friends. And we were very conscious about the rent. Our first rent was 10,000 rupees, okay? But we knew in our hearts that we cannot commit 10,000 to our landlord, okay? That's how bad our situation was. So I went to one of my friends. She was an architect. Okay, she was also looking to start out her own architectural firm. So I said, hey, I'm trying to take an office here. Would you be interested to share the office so that we can divide up the rent and divide the infrastructure costs? Okay, so she also her parents supported her. She invested some money to build buy the chairs, pay the security deposit, all those aspects, and we shared the rent every month. 5,000 she gave and 5,000 we three of us gave. Okay. So with every project that came in, our first priority was to pay the landlord, to pay the electricity bills, okay, and whatever money, if any money was left, we used it for ourselves because we also had to pay our food and rent. Okay, so gradually, so project was the only way of survival for us. And like I said, we knew that bankers were not going to understand about us because we did not have a concrete business plan. Okay, people just used to confuse us with jargons like, hey, what is your revenue model? What is your business model? Do you know the difference? Of course, we didn't know any difference, okay, because it was totally new for us. So we thought that, okay, rather than wasting time with these guys, let me just, meet more people, probably will find more clients. So with that mindset, we started. So eventually, we started, getting one client, and we used to purchase our furniture. For example, I'll tell you a story what happened. So probably after 1.5 years, we got our first US client. So once we were having this, Zoom meeting, okay. So usually we had our Zoom meetings in early morning, around our time, 6-7 o'clock in the morning. But that day, due to some problems on their side, we took the meeting around 7 o'clock in the evening. So it was a video call. So the meeting was going on, and suddenly the power went off. Okay. So the Americans, they went crazy, like what happened? So they have not seen these power cuts. so there was this Indian guy as well who later called me and scolded me very well, like, hey, are you crazy? You are running a software company. How can you not have power backup? Okay. Then then like, oh my God, how am I going to find 20,000 rupees tomorrow and buy the inverter? Okay, so every purchase of us has a story, all right? Every chair that I bought, every laptop that I bought, I know when and how it was bought, with which money it was bought, okay? So that's how we bootstrapped it so far. And eventually a time came after many, many years, of course, that, rent was not the first priority, rent was covered somehow, okay? So gradually the obstacles started reducing. Then again, the employees increased, the salaries increased, COVID came, different challenges keep on coming, all right. So but yes, so subconsciously probably because we were in Assam, okay, like she said, right, when we before COVID, when we used to talk to any Indian client, not client, prospective clients or anyone from even outside, they would say first they will just type Google, like, where is this Assam, where is this Guwahati, okay. They would eventually they will say that, okay, would rather prefer to give it to a Hyderabad, Delhi based company, okay, because indirectly they are saying that we don't trust you, you don't have the brand as a reason, okay. So after COVID, that problem was gone for us. Nobody asked us silly questions now, but maybe because we have some portfolio as well. But that's how it has been, okay. And coming back to Dubai and US, so it has always been challenging. Like we don't have external funding. We always have to save up some money. We have to sacrifice our salaries as well sometimes, because whenever someone asks me like, hey, how much do you get paid? I think whatever I get paid, I get paid only for 10 months, okay, because every year there's something else. it's COVID, then okay, we understand, okay, we are not getting paid for the next few months. Then now the recession is coming. So this whole year probably we didn't get any good clients, all right? So we are hoping that by December, markets will start opening up. We'll have sunshine, all right? But now that the reality is that it's going to be more bad for the next 6 months, okay? So that's how we've been surviving so far. And yeah, probably if we have a very solid conviction that, okay, this is the product that we are going to go through in the next 5 years, then probably we might go for VC funding. But yeah, we crossed the stage that, we needed external funding long back. That's all.
Well, thank you so much. This is one of the only panel discussion I've been part of where there is applause after every talk. And in addition to the engineering degrees, I am confident that they are amazing storytellers, that they are really good brand ambassadors of our region. Talking about brands and the identity of the region, what Rita has tapped on is the organic brand that Northeast really promotes. And I think that is an advantage. What we would want to know is probably your advice or suggestions on the scope of this industry. Maybe what we're doing right in the agriculture sector, in the horticulture industry, what we're going wrong, and the unique advantages of our region.
Thank you so much for this question. So this is interesting and it intrigues my mind also. And the very reason why, one of the reasons why we went into this winery and winemaking is because we have got very good natural resources, be it kiwi fruits or be it any other resources, bioresources that we have that our region is bestowed with. So in terms of our industry, the industry that I'm working is, it's termed as alcohol beverage industry when it comes to wine. And now again, this wine comes from, it's a horticultural product because it comes from fruits. And when it comes to this entire scenario, I think there's a huge scope when it, in terms of fresh fruits and vegetables. I see a lot of exports from many states of Northeast like Manipur, even Nagaland, and then Assam. Of course, they are doing, I think they are the biggest exporters from Northeast. They export rice, they export spices, they export fruits and vegetables to many countries. I keep seeing that, in many news letters, I keep seeing that, so, and social media. So it's a big advantage for us because I just came back from Delhi last evening and then see like the air pollution there. Like it was so thick, early morning you wake up and then pura, like it's like evening, dark evening for 5-6 o'clock. It looks like that, and schools are shut down because of the pollution, and people there, everyone is getting cough. Everyone is like coughing, like, and lucky that I'm still not coughing, and then I didn't do there also. And that I was thinking, I think, is it because like I might be having some extra resilience that I have come with from my own place, that I was thinking to myself, okay, so in terms of these fruits, vegetables, and agri-horti sector also, what else can we do? See, like, I wouldn't encourage like chemical-based industries. Now we have seen the bad effects of that. I was citing this pollution in Delhi and then many other metro cities and across the world also. So now environment is something we have to save, and organic is something which has lots of advantage. But of course, to maintain that, to maintain organic status again, sometimes we find it difficult. But for Northeast region, I would say I wouldn't call it even organic. It's beyond organic, I must say. Because literally when we say organic, it's for something which is not organic but has been turned into organic. Okay, so to get organic certificate from a place or for a crop or a vegetable, like we assume that those fruits and vegetables or those products were not organic, but then they went into that organic certification process of 3 years of turning the soil into organic again, then producing a crop out of that, and then get the organic certificate. But for our region, for Northeast region, it's like, we are born in that place, the fruits, vegetables, everything there. It's like, see, our farmers, they don't know what are fertilizers, what are chemical fertilizers. We use like natural, this manures, cow dungs, and then this, like the grasses, those weeds, we turn it into manures and then put it in the soil again. So this has been our tradition for long. So like, especially my place, people don't use much of all this. I mean, they don't know what is that. And moreover, they don't have the money, they don't have the resource to buy this chemical pesticides and all that. So how do we make it, how come it's like even called inorganic? So these are all organic. And then with wine, like we say, like we are the first in the country to make organic kiwi wine. And sometimes people say, oh, it's organic alcohol and all that. But I want to say that, like in the winemaking process, if I have to delve a little bit on that, we have this, we ferment the fruit, and then alcohol is generated from the fruit itself, from the inherent fructose, sugar that the fruit has. So that sugar has been converted to alcohol with the help of yeast. Now in a wine, if there is no alcohol, then it's a fruit juice. So that's why like wine is something which is treated very different from the hardcore alcohol and the alcohol industry that is there. That is one thing. And yes, the scope is huge. Even as a wine or as a fresh fruits and vegetable, the only thing is like we have to look for market. We have to look for market, and to some extent we have the disadvantage that we are located in a far off place, and sometimes we may not get the informations on time, and we may not be able to deliver it on time. That is one thing. And that apart, with this sector, I think we have to get more organized, because the buyers and the other companies, big companies, they would definitely buy our products in bulk, isn't it? No one will no one will ask like, just give me 100 kg of turmeric to export it to Europe or to Dubai or US. So then this is something we have to, when we talk about the size, we have to bulk it up and then get organized. So one typical example I want to give is like, I was telling kiwi is much abundant in our place, and then, but then when initially in the beginning, when buyers came, like there were no fruits because they wanted in trucks. They wanted like 4 metric ton minimum, 5 ton like that. And 4 metric ton is just one big truck of this Punjabi body truck, 19 feet car, huge one, that one. Now to collect that fruit from 1 or 2 farmers is not possible. So they have to organize themselves into cooperatives, into some society, and then like quality they have to maintain. Although we are like, see, quality wise we are okay, whether we are small size, big size, or from whichever place we come, like it's organic, it's tasty. And then even when you go for lab checking also, lab testing, like all inherent nutrients will be there, will be densely loaded. But then to go it into market, to make it appealing, we have to first organize ourselves and then collect the material and then be able to deliver it to the importer, exporter on time. So this is something we have to all work on this. And I think for this, even government, different government departments, state departments and central governments also, they are working much in order to organize the farmers into different cooperatives and different societies, and then make them more professional in terms of exporting, and then giving them a wider market and growth for their industry. So this is what I can say. And then I think even if we make it into value-added products like wine, there are also scope for much scope, in fact. And you must be knowing so many products now coming from Northeast. Like we have got pickles, we have got dried fruits, we have got flowers, and so many things are there, which are which is like which is superior in quality as compared to other regions and other places. The only thing is like we have to smartly know how to market it. No? That is what, and me myself advising this, but then I'm facing a lot of challenge myself in this sector because market and distribution is something which is very tough in my industry, the alcohol beverage industry. So this, like, maybe later I can speak on, but as a whole, I would encourage all youths to come forward and explore the agri-horti potential that we all have. And a lot of government schemes and supports are there. So we have to just, log into there. Nowadays, even government portals and government websites, it works because they also learned key, like, if we don't have this thing in place, then how would we grow, isn't it? So they have, some of them, some government, central government authorities like APEDA, for example, like has taken my product for many international national exhibitions, the wine. So likewise, they also export many other processed products, agri-horti based. So and they have a very good, vibrant website, and they've got like all the bureaucrats there, the officers there. They're very friendly and they're very pro-entrepreneur. So with that, I think we should all go out and then take support from the government facilities, government schemes that are there also. Okay, right from the beginning, especially this agri-horti sector, because farming and this sector is tough. It's very tough. Other sectors, as they were telling, they might be able to survive even without thing, but with this, it's very difficult. Like farming, the occupation itself is very tough. Now again, like those are very highly perishable products. To turn it into value-added, valuable products, make it appealing, make it tasty. Not only like when we say like it's densely loaded with all the vitamins and antioxidants and all those things, like no one will take it. Now this, like since last evening, I was eating like one, this Nagaland made wild apples, this candy, dried, yeah. It's so tasty, I must say. I don't know which company, but it's so tasty. Even while coming, by this cab, I was eating that. So like it's very tasty, and the one that is made in our place, they also make this candy, but the sizes are so small. They made it like chips, like a flag. They made it, and then it's not as good as the one that I tasted here. Then I was thinking I'll advise those youths and someone who is making ki ye wala is tarah ka banao, like that. So those things like abhi hum log thoda smart ho jana hai, and then look for places, especially to market our places. Now make use of this government support. They keep calling kahan pe, maybe food and beverage section, handloom and handicraft and all those. Jahan pe, whenever there is like a government calling, come and do that. So just run and do that. From there, you'll get so many people. Now, B2B meetings are there where, buyers, they'll be willing to take your samples and then look for exports and all that. And even like just 2-3 days back in Delhi, there was this World Food India exhibition. So there we had a lot of B2B meeting, foreigners, foreign buyers came, foreign diplomats, and so many people. And I've even given our wine to many of the foreign buyers like that. They've taken it for samples like that. I don't know whether they'll come back or not, but it's a very good place to expose yourself, to let your brands be known like that. And once again, I heartily welcome all of you into this industry, and let's all do together, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And to save time, let us keep the applause to the end of the panel discussion, and we'll move quickly because we want to give some Q&A session to the delegates too. I'll move to Imtisunep now. Over 3,000 indigenous products at Island Law. You have an bird's eye view of what's happening and the kind of businesses that's thriving. Probably you know which dried apple company that might be. What we know is Northeast contributes just about 1 to 2% to India's GDP. 90% of the exports from the Northeast comes from Assam. So we don't know what's happening with the rest of the states, but there is so much to do. But then one thing we are known for is the unemployment rate. It's very high in the Northeast, and we want to push for livelihood opportunities. Looking at Island Law and what you have seen on what kind of livelihood opportunities can thrive, is thriving currently, maybe if we can suggest what we should be looking at.
Thank you. Yeah. What are the opportunities, right? I think there are endless opportunities. That's what you think I will say. right? But then I guess if you really wanted to check what's available for you, then I think the starting point will be to check the government industrial policies that is for your particular state. Nagaland is still drafting the industrial policy. That's what I've heard. They have sent us the drafts and all those sheets, but then it's not rolled out yet. Yeah. So I guess every state would have that in terms of every industry, in terms of tourism, in terms of horti and agri and floriculture. So I think the starting point will be to, like deep dive into what your particular state government has in place. And then it's like this. It's easy to say that, okay, I want to do this. I want to do flour. I want to do fruits. I want to do process food. I wanted to do craft. I wanted to do electronics. I wanted to do IT. But then at the end of the day, I think it's about how you sell it. I'll tell you an example. I have so many examples. So when we initially started, the problem with us was we were going to be asking artisans, entrepreneurs, craftsmen from Northeast to sell on our website. You know what? The biggest challenge was internet, though they don't know though. That's the biggest issue. Because that was 1G, 4G, 2G, where we also pay for that SMS thing also, right? So, and then that Samsung phone was the almost luxury phone that we had. So, how we explained to an artisan about e-commerce? Because hardly there was any vibe about Amazon that time. So Flipkart told they don't even deliver to Northeast. Remember, like how it comes till Guwahati, and then like from Guwahati someone will pick it up and then like send it across to Dimapur, and then the Kohima guy will be like waiting at the taxi stand. So that's how it started. And then there was a fear of, like the trust issue, that because if you buy online, do you really get the product, right? That was the big questions. And apart from Amazon and Flipkart, they're like trusted companies. But then for a company like us to grow and survive and then like swingle around this spaces was quite difficult. So how we marketed our idea was, we will be like, we're talking to an artisan, maybe 50-ish years old, 60 years old. We're like, auntie, we're going to sell your products all over India. Okay. And then the counter question was, how are you going to sell it? Do you have a shop? Like, do you have a shop? We said, no, we don't have a shop. But then we're going to sell it in the cloud. We're going to sell it in the air. And then, you know what? We didn't know how to explain it in the first place. We didn't know how to market our product itself. So that was really challenging. And over the years, thanks so much to Geo people who brought in the free Geo internet. So that's how it really helped us. And then, to be really honest, I would want I would want more people from our region, especially in the Northeast region, to focus more on industries that are more intellectually oriented businesses. Just like his, you can sit anywhere around the globe and then still work on it, right? Maybe if you have a product, maybe, I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but I'm talking about the challenges. Internet you get in every CCD cafe or like Starbucks cafe, right? But then to have a unit like hers, it's a brick and mortar industry, right? You cannot shift. You cannot put all the machines in a truck and then like shift. It's not easy. It's very difficult. And then it's, as she mentioned, she has to travel to almost all the expos to let people know this is my product, right? Right. So maybe there's so many. If you just have, the thing is, you just have to really research what's more intellectual type of business that you can. Because I think the world has invented almost all the products, maybe. All the social media is there. Like, can you develop another Instagram? Maybe no. Social media, oh, there's so many social medias. Maybe that's what I always imagine and dream, that I think the world has invented almost anything for us. Now, like, we don't have anything to invent now. Don't you think so? Like, we have the microphone, we have almost everything. We have all the colors. We have more colors. If you just imagine, I think that's what my personal belief, that almost everything, maybe out of my scope, is almost everything has been, invented already. And now, you're so unlucky that, maybe we are so unlucky that we are like lagging behind. So what can we do now, right? I guess the only way out that I see, because you can start another wine business, it's all right. You can start another e-commerce website, you can start another IT service, because it's not that there's only one IT services company in Assam, right? It's not that. It's not that Island Law is the only e-commerce website in Northeast. No, it's not that Naara Aaba is the only Northeast wine brand from Northeast, right? So I guess it's all about knowing your passion and then studying the market. There's a good book about finding the blue ocean, right? I guess many people might know. So because almost everything has been invented for me, for my eyes. I don't know. You might see an elephant flying. You might think of that, but then I don't see a car flying very soon. Flying car, you know. I don't see that. But then maybe people like Elon Musk might. We don't know. But then for me, for my capacity, and especially sitting in Northeast, I think almost everything is invented. The thing is, you need to jump to any sector, any business, because as we all know, employment, government service, we don't have to talk and repeatedly say that it's saturated, right? We all know that. So let's not repeat what's already been spoken zillion times. So the only thing is, okay, this industry, I like it, I'm passionate about it, let me find the blue ocean myself. That means you can be the hardware store, you can be the fashion store, you can be the boutique, you can be anything you want to, because almost everything is there. Imagine what business can you start tomorrow. Example, someone has already done it, isn't it? Someone has already created that website, that idea, whatnot. For my thinking, that's what I believe. You just have to jump into whatever you are passionate about. Because that's the hard truth is, you will always reach the rock bottom place. Like, you know, like you go down so deep that, okay, it's very, for many people, it's very difficult to get up. And it's so emotionally, you know, like, it drains you emotionally. Forget about, there might be so Jay-Z part about, like, you know, people talking about your business, blah, 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 but then ultimately it's going to be you, right? Who has the zero money in your pocket, right? So your valuation might be in crores maybe, but then maybe if you can't take salary yourself sometimes, right? So those are the things. So it's all about, for me, it's all about passionate about anything that you want to be a dancer. You can be a dancer, you can be a lawyer, because there's so many dancers, there's so many lawyers. How do you do it differently? Once we were working, as I said, when you start, you work 25 hours a day, right? So late night, I was working in my room. It's a maybe say 50 square feet room, like a storeroom. That was my room. And we were working almost every night, barely getting a sleep, developing the website and all not. So one night, my mom came in from behind, and then, like, I was working, and then, like, she suddenly stopped me and said, "Imti, what are you doing?" I said, "What?" She said, "Are you a satanic worshiper these days? Because every late night you're awake." Because that was the hype that was going on. Satanic worshippers in Northeast India, in Nagaland, whatnot. People wearing black, and people going at night. I don't know what. So that was the question. So that's how passionate I was. because nothing seemed, like so difficult. Even though it's difficult, we have to do it. We have to complete it. Yeah. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, great. We love applause, but tactfully responded. Several takeaways from that very concise response. It's a difficult journey, is what I understand. And there are several industries that can thrive. But I do understand the emotionally draining part is something I think we will understand a lot more once we are in the journey. But I think there is a confidence there that there is a lot of prospective industries and potential industries that can grow in the Northeast, and it depends on us how we explore that. Maybe everything is invented, but then I see artificial intelligence creeping from somewhere. We will move into emerging technologies. Is it overrated? Is ChatGPT and AI overrated? Are we looking at a growth of the tech industry? Why is STEM industries not growing in the Northeast?
Yep, that's a sad reality actually, because we have, look at our literacy rate of all states, right? It's higher than most states of the rest of the India, okay? So I'm a true believer of human potential, okay? Like my industry is, I don't consider myself as an IT industry, I call ourselves as a knowledge-based industry, or it's an intellectual industry. So like I said, you just need a laptop and the internet connection to get into IT-enabled services, all right? So we have a lot of graduates who are from STEM, okay? But where are they going? What are they doing now? That's what we have to look into. So I'll tell you a story of my cousin, okay? So she's a physics gold medalist, okay, from Mizoram University. She's very good at maths, all right? Okay, so I really tried to motivate her, to push her to get into tech. All right. I said that, have you heard about data analytics? Yeah, she said that, okay, this is one of the most paid job in the world probably. And I said, then why don't you get into there? They said, somehow I came to realize that later on, that probably because her peers are not going there, her parents are not, do not want her to get into, private jobs probably. But whatever the reason may be, she went into a job. I'm not saying she's happy or unhappy, that's a different question. But the thing is, our graduates, our STEM graduates, are not doing what they were meant to be or what they're actually capable of doing. Because earlier, what it was that, software industry as a whole was very particular for, say, you have to be from a computer science background, you need to have foundation knowledge of software engineering. But that's not there anymore. If anyone invests 6 hours a day for 6 months, he will become a very good software engineer, irrespective of any background. Okay, science, maths, science, arts, commerce, doesn't matter, hospitality background, they can get into the IT industry. And IT industry does not mean that you only have to do software engineering. So you must have seen the video that we played, okay? I don't know whether you liked it, how much you liked it, okay? But it was made by our own team, all right? So we're not a marketing team or we are not a media company, but we still managed to get it out into production. So looking at this video, our US client said that, hey, why don't you create videos for us? Why don't you create animated content for us? Why don't you write our content? Okay, that's what made me realize that we can have more companies that we can actually have here in all states, because we have so many good English writers, right? How many, like there will be thousands of probably, masters of English or bachelors of English. But due to lack of exposure, no one is actually doing writing as a profession. Okay, and that's because of the lack of exposure. So recently I was looking for experienced content writers. They're actually getting paid like 15, 20, 25 lakhs a year. I had no idea that English graduates can have that kind of a career. But that's a reality. We don't have exposure. If that exposure was there, maybe some English writer would dream to start his or her content writing services probably. So you need to explore more that now, then again, when you come to content writing, people say that ChatGPT is there, it's going to be written. But ChatGPT can, this is my personal opinion, that ChatGPT can give you the guidelines, the framework, the stories, okay, how you should craft it in a particular way. But your personal knowledge, okay, your background or your story of your company can only be told by you. You need someone to, at least for the next 5-10 years, that's the reality, okay. We use AI extensively in our company, okay. We are the ones who actually create all those machine learning algorithms for our clients, okay. But we need the engineers, right, to write the software. Of course, if it was earlier written by 10 people, now it's done by 8 or 7. But we'll always need people to run the show. So it's a common term in project management, okay, that 9 mothers cannot make a baby in 1 month, okay. So this is what we say. So by that I mean that we'll always need those services. We'll need the people to build the AI machines. Of course, like I said, the numbers are reducing, of course, no doubt about that. But human potential is that of Northeast is really high. So whenever I talk to any company, so they'll always say, hey, we have this friend, we have this friend from Nagaland, Manipur, Assam, he's very good at this, okay, in particular skills, okay. Then now my question to you is, like, why are we not starting such kind of companies? Like, why are we not starting media companies? Why, if someone is good at art, why are we not doing, building companies that creates animated videos, for example? Just a small example. Why don't we have content writing agencies? We are actually outsourcing content writing services to companies from outside the Northeast. That's a reality. I've been looking for video editors for a long time, like, we're not able to find them. But it's not that we don't have the people. We have the people. We have people who are actually doing wonderful jobs, who are at top level positions at companies outside the country, outside Assam or outside Northeast India. But we don't have those services. So my parents and a lot of our friends used to always keep asking me, hey, are you not afraid that few of your employees will go and start their own IT company tomorrow? I'd said I'd be the happiest, because it will help our company to actually multiply. Now we don't have a brand value. Say Assam as a IT hub, say its value is this much. If we have 10, it will go to this much. If we have 100, it will be this much. So that's how we need to brand ourselves as a region. That we have end-to-end services for IT, for knowledge processing industry, for IT-enabled services, all those things. But it's not there. Like I said, we don't have those problems anymore. No one will question you anymore. Okay, where is Kohima? We have not heard about Kohima before. Those questions, those days are gone. So it's actually the best time for us to grow as a region, because this kind of networking sessions are happening. We are getting connected to mentors outside of the region. We can actually help each other out now. Okay, and I'm not saying TechVariable is a successful, or I'm a successful entrepreneur, but I'm saying that we don't always need to innovate. Okay, we don't need groundbreaking ideas. We just need to run a business. We just need to earn some profits. We just need to create jobs. That's what's going to happen. And when I try to talk to someone and try to motivate them, hey, why? I always keep saying that, okay, hey, why don't you start your own company? I think you'll be very good at that. They always say that, okay, I don't have the experience, I don't have the money. Those are the only two answers. And for an industry like us, we don't need that. All right, if you can work hard for 6 months, you will have good enough knowledge, good enough, decent amount of money to keep you driving for the probably next 2 years. And that's what is enough to keep yourself motivated in the game. And that's what we can grow as a region. That's all. Thank you.
Well, thank you for highlighting the next question that I was supposed to address, and that is about the skills and experiences. A question that I would like to pose to all the speakers before we move into Q&A from the delegates is, first, what are the skills required by an entrepreneur, to start a startup, to start a business? Maybe some things that you have learned along the way and you wish you had known certain things. The second is, what are some of the hard skills and technical skills that you were looking into in your employees that you find difficult to find? For example, like content writers or video editing experts, etc. So maybe if we can highlight those two things, and maybe those are the skills that the region should prioritize. Probably those are the skills that you and I should be working and improving. So maybe if we can start with you.
In terms of skills that are required to be an entrepreneur, I think the first thing is like, I think who is a self-motivated, a passionate person can definitely be a good entrepreneur. This is one prerequisite, because if you just tell someone who is very resourceful or who comes from a very wealthy background, and you tell them, see, you have this money, and then I think you already have the connections, you already have all those things, fields open for you. So you just need to set up the company or a shop, and then I think things will open for you like that. So if we do that, I think that's something which might not work. But for startups especially, I'm not saying this for other things, but for startups, that is one thing, as I said, like someone has to be passionate and self-motivated. And the other thing that drives much in, especially in social entrepreneurship, is the grit, the mental toughness that you have, that one can build it actually. Not right from the beginning. We are exposed to difficulties, to obstacles and all that. But in the process, in the journey, like we do face a lot of challenge, and then there are times like where you really feel like you are fully broken, and then it's like the previous speaker had said, like it's so draining. You're mentally, not only mentally but emotionally, psychologically, and draining is much more painful than the physical resource that drains out in the process sometimes. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, like be ready that you're going to cross places which you have never been to, and you need to be mentally ready for that. And the only way to survive, sustain and flourish someday is that you should never give up. That's the only way. Don't give up. So like when, as a school going child, like I was like, oh, studying is very tough, and then I really don't want to do that. But in order to please my parents and then teachers and all that, I have to do that. But one thing that I tell myself that I'm a very passionate and a self-motivated woman. I say this because I truly am. I feel so, because even at that, as a young girl, I remember no, just pleasing my parents won't be enough. Am I getting something? And I used to think, if I read and if I learn, there's something that, I know better. I know something more than what my friends or some people, around me might know. So that's why I learned. I learned by heart the answer. I learned by heart the answer questions, and then I get good marks in the exam. I get pated, but on the other side, I'm also happy learning that. So that was the motivation that I had on my own. And when I went to an engineering college, I really did not want to study engineering, by the way. I'm telling this because I was not really good in maths. Even now, I'm very bad in calculation and all that. But I have a backpack, my husband is there, like, who is very good in all that. So engineering was not my kind of thing. But you know what, like I had to study engineering because I had no option. So I studied in a convent school, in a Christian missionary school. And from there, like I just got selected through an entrance exam to study engineering. And then my elders, my relatives, they told me, see, Rita, if you go into any other school, you're going to need a big amount of money, and your parents, they won't be able to afford your studies to, good schools. If I had to go into government school, okay, that's for free. But then I believe you'll be wanting to study in some, good school where you have studied, like your present school. And that was only up to class 10. And if you go into engineering directly, study engineering directly, then you'll be, your parents will manage the money and you'll directly get, employment and all that, and you don't have to run to other cities. And the college was in Arunachal, in the capital city itself. And then, I studied there. Somehow I studied. And there was this motivation, that self-motivation in between, like, I learned something, I gain, and then I feel happy from inside, studying that. That is one thing. Now, when it comes to real life challenge, like there was something in me that I always felt like I like doing things on my own. Okay, so my mind was never of something like being of an employee. My mindset was never like that. So that is one thing. And now when the challenges come, I used to question myself. Either you get back into that same mode where teachers are there, where parents are there, everyone is there, you work under them, you are happy, you are patted, and the story is over. And in the real life space, like where you have to work on your own, in your own timings, there's no one to scold you, but if you fail, you are gone. So, and for me, like, I enjoy the freedom there. I enjoy the creative space that entrepreneurship gives. And then, like, I always had the feeling I can lead. That's what. But it's not necessary that every person have to have the feeling, yeah, I can be, I can lead, I can command over, and I can do the things perfectly. We don't have to strive to be perfect, but excellence is what I chase every time. Okay, and this everyone can do. And many people say, like, like we have the feeling, like someone is very smart, someone is very intelligent, they are very quick and all that. But throughout my journey, now I'm 42. So like, I feel like, you don't have to be super intelligent. You don't have to be the topper always. But you have to be persistent and consistency. Now, that is what really takes you. Now, don't give up. That is what I mean. So, like, you have to persistent on what you are doing. Do it right. And being persistent is the only right way to do in entrepreneurship. So that's all. That answers. And then regarding the skills that that are required, and then that I couldn't find, and all the challenges, I would say, like, in my place, I look after the management part on the ground level work that I do there, because there is one thing that must be in place. So it's been 5-6 years I've been doing, but in between I used to run around for meetings and these, that, like the small important events like this, like I used to go around. But throughout the process, I learned a lot, and it's been so enriching. But in the management part, what I see is like, we say like we are like the employment rate is very high, but on the other side, we also have to see like how employable we are, how employable our youths are, how our education system is. There is one very deep thing, subject that we have to speak about. And when it comes to manual work, again, like I see the work culture now like much different than other places. So like our youths, we really have to see, like I started being an engineering graduate, doing sitting on a table and working as an engineer, and with a huge potential for me to go forward as an engineer in a state department also. But I left that job. And when I left my job, my parents, my relatives, when I walk on the village streets, they used to pull my hand and they used to make me sit down and they used to start crying. You say, like, now what are you going to do? And you're going to make daru. And there is one common word we say. I don't like this word, but they say, and then you're going to make this, and then and then you have a garden. And then you're going to pick cow dungs. You're going to climb trees. They say that, and they say, you see, you were the only gazetted officer that we had from our village, and then we were so proud of you right from the childhood. You were very bright, and we're so happy. But now this decision really breaks our heart. I think you should rethink. Now, that's what they said. I really didn't know, looking at their sad face, I also sometimes had to cry because I had no answer at that time. I just started. Even now, they don't understand. Okay, 99% of them, they don't understand what I am doing. Then I'm telling this because I started by collecting cow dungs, put it in the garden. Then when we went to, pluck, buy fruits initially, women in the village, women, children, and men, they didn't believe that we were going to buy their fruits and that we are going to pay them in bulk. They didn't understand that. And the youths, the boys who accompanied me from my factory, from the winery, I used to wear jeans, and then I used to wear these rubber boots, and then I used to walk in front, and I used to say, "Chalo, we'll collect the fruits." And they would hesitate, standing below the tree, they would hesitate to climb the tree, shake the branches, and then collect the fruits. They would stand there, they would look at each other, because climbing trees are beyond, it's below their dignity. And wearing rubber boots, going around in this kacha road in the village. But for me, I had to do it by showing it myself. So I climbed the tree. It was easy. Then, and then I shook the branch, let the fruits fall. I'm talking about these plums and pears, not the kiwis. So then when they saw me, and they were taken aback. And the next time, what they did was, they told me, Ata. Ata means elder sister. Ata, you remain in the winery, because so many visitors come. Now, when foreign visitors come, we can't speak English, and we can't even write much. We can't talk. You remain here with the assistant. You host them. We go and collect the fruits. So that's how it changed. And now they know how I really want them to groom themselves. So now they are disciplined a bit, like that. And I keep warning them, see, if you come late, then I'm going to do this. And if you, do this, do that, don't come on time. So many things are there. This I'm talking about the youths, who are school and college dropouts. So this is something like the work culture has to change. Now, for example, when I went to, again, for Shark Tank audition, my experience was I took my two young daughters also, along with my husband, when we went. And we went for the audition. We saw anyone who is working there is busy as B. When I saw them, I used to think, they are so busy, and how much are they getting paid? See, they also have their own, bills to be paid. And how they work, the work culture, everyone, right from the, manual workers to the people in the production, and people who are highly skilled, highly educated, qualified, and experienced. They sweat, and they make us work. And the thing is, how they know how to get the things done. That is one thing. And we, as a small business owners, I must admit that we need to learn how to get the things done. And on the other side, where we employ our youths, our people, where we employ skilled people, again, they need to get exposure, they need to learn, and they have to, groom themselves, become more professional. That is something, our region has to, grow and, grow for better, learn, and then, we really don't have to always run to the cities for work and all. Now, for example, my winery is right in the village. So only village boys I take. There are many people from outside our state also, they ask. I take them also, especially from Assam we have got. And their work culture, by the way, is much better than my local boys, okay? So like that. But their influence is good. They're influencing them to come on time, do the job like that. And in terms of other outsourcing work also, we have the social media people, we have got people in the banking, RCA, then accounts team and all that. I prefer to look for these local people. And that's where I find people from all our social media is handled by people from Guwahati. And then even our banking, people who takes care of finance and all that, they are from local, from the Assam. Startups, they are also startups. So like that we work together like that. And even if they don't deliver things sometimes, not up to our satisfaction, but I prefer these locals, because we need to grow together. We need to learn together. That's what I have the feeling. And wherever there's a challenge, I take this also as one small challenge. And then, as I say again, wherever there's a challenge, there are opportunities also to grow. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Kindly be ready with few questions. First, I was told that lunch is a little delayed. It's stuck in traffic, so good for us. We have some more time with the speakers. But if candies can be circulated in case some of us want. But before we go into Q&A, maybe the skills, if we can quickly highlight as a startup founder and
Quickly, 2 questions, right? For me, I feel like I don't know about other professions, but then as an entrepreneur, you have to be shameless, over smart, and a little bit psycho. So that's very simple to understand. So you have to be shameless, horribly over smart, and a little bit of psycho, right? So you can mean whatever you want to. Okay, yeah, a little bit obsessed about what you're doing. And that's quite short, understandable, I guess. Yeah, what skills I look in my, say, my team is we as, I don't know, other northeastern states, but we as Naga, we have this notion that, whenever we publish advertisement, we said, don't bring your father, mother, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, or any friend to the interview. Come alone. Okay, so that means we want that person to be what? Yeah, independent, who can do things themselves. The skills that are in this world can be learned, right? Right? Coding can be learned in 6 months. 6 months, the probation also does not end, right? So 6 months coding can be done. So the only thing we look for in a candidate is, okay, don't bring your mother, father. That means we have this nature that, okay, like we are spoon-fed like crazy from the time we were born. Spoon-fed when you are applying for your UPSC exam, NPSC exam, ASP exam, your parents are filling up the form. That's crazy. And then maybe your parents are looking for an MLA, asking for a job. It should be you who is doing that actually. So we want someone who is, like who can dig things themselves. And then when we see that, I think we can train that person very easily. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'll just continue on what he said. See, what I really believe is that it's not just for entrepreneurs, okay? I'm saying this as a blanket advice. So what we really need to do is build our skills as a, T-shaped skills, okay? So by T, I mean that in one particular area, you have to go very deep. I mean, you have to be the best of the business, okay? And by the upper horizontal, I mean, you should be able to explore other areas as well, okay? So let me give you a small example. So the people in our marketing team, I always say that, okay, suppose you are a content writer, it does not mean that, okay, you can write good English, okay, that's good enough for me. But then again, unless you understand where your content is going to be used, say we are designing a brochure or designing a image, you should be able to visualize how it's going to be used, what kind of images we need to use, okay? So only then you can become a wholesome individual, or you can say that, high performance individual. And another aspect I have seen is that, people are very hesitant to, do things that are usually not written on their job description. Say, for example, someone is an HR. He or she will say that, okay, I am an HR. My job is to look at people. My job is hiring. I don't want to, write. Don't want to do storytelling, or I don't want to go into an event and talk about talk about our company, something like that. Okay, I'm not talking about our HR, but I have seen this hesitation. So say for example, we need someone, okay, whatever skill. So if I say that, okay, this is a person, you go and meet them, okay, he or she is going to help you. First, they will start with messaging, because that's the easiest part. People don't like to talk to people anymore. They will not pick up the phone and say, hey, I want a meeting. So what I mean is that you should be able to, interact with people more, okay. Of course, he or she, the other person may not, entertain you, give you time slots. But then again, you should be able to move very fast, okay. Decision making should be very fast. You should not wait for the perfect decision making, rather than, make more mistakes and, keep on moving ahead. That's what I personally believe. And for skills, yeah, skills can be learned. But then again, you need, complementary skills nowadays. Okay, earlier it was just, you know, one particular skill you are good at, you'll thrive in the industry. But now it's not. Now it's not that anymore. People want you know, leaders. People want employees who can be initiative takers, and you know, who can actually go beyond what their core job is or core responsibility is. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much. We will go into Q&A. Please put your hands down. Kindly introduce your name and where you're from. No comments, only question to the point, please. All right. I'll start from the gentleman right at the back. Yes.
Hello, I'm Dinesh Chetri from the organic state of Sikkim. So my question is to Ms. Rita, and my question revolves around the idea of sustainable farming itself, right? So Sikkim is, in the state of Sikkim, cardamom is a very popular and, you know, well-paid cash crop. So in the last decade, like almost every household have turned their traditional farming land into cardamom farming. And then eventually, when the, you know, the end product, the cardamom, was doing well, people also shifted towards, you know, exporting the indigenous saplings, cardamom saplings, which are very indigenous to the state of Sikkim. So eventually, one of the problems which we are facing is when our indigenous, you know, saplings get exported. So when our saplings get exported, the competition for the product increases, right? As you were also mentioning that the farmers and, you know, people from your place, now they have started exporting the kiwi saplings. So my question is, so how do we tackle this problem of, you know, competition that our traditional sapling faces in the international as well as in the domestic market?
Okay, very nice question. So like the cardamom, I think what I know is like two varieties. One is like green small one and the other one is large cardamom. So which one is it? Large cardamom. So I'm not much dealing with the large cardamom farmers as of now, but in my neighboring, in the same district, there are farmers, like more than 200-300 farmers are farming this large cardamom. So you said that you have the problem of like competition, and then your saplings are not accepted. I mean, it's not finding much market. That is the question that you are asking, like how to market it.
No, because our saplings, like, you know, they are being exported outside, right? So
Okay.
now is the competition in the product, right? When the outside, you know, the outside market is itself, you know, producing cardamom. So how will our farmers survive, you know, the competition that we are facing?
I think this problem, the export thing, is it exported to this foreign country or is it domestic? So, like, see, for example, like our kiwi farmers, when they made these saplings, now there is like, again, exponential like increase, as I mentioned, like year on year farmers are again like they are farming. So there must be, you know, I don't think like just, you know, facing 1 year, if you face competition from one or, you know, other competitors, but I think on the next year or the, you know, consecutive years, they would definitely find market. And also, I think in order to protect these local farmers and their produce, there are so many government organizations are there where they take care of actually. So I think this competition should not, according to my belief, this competition should not be so tough that, you know, the farmers get affected so badly. But again, once like you are able to sell off the fresh produce, like the large cardamom, if you're able to make it into, you know, there's different industries are there. In the food industry, they buy this produce like anything. They buy this large cardamom like anything. They need it, like you know, they need it for in their food preparations, big hotels, and yeah, that's in Indian context, I know. But also like other exports, like if you're exporting it to only one place, then you can also maybe look forward to other agencies, other countries, like for export. And for this, I think to help the farmers, the best way is to take support from the local government. And the self-help groups or the farmer society, they need to have a very strong leader where they can share their problem to the concerned authority. I'm sure like when they were given saplings, like it must have been from some government agencies. Like in our place, the saplings were brought by horticulture department. Now, again, Sikkim also will have some their own organization. They have to report to that and they'll have to find a solution for that. I'm sure there's a huge scope. I don't have the figure in hand for this large cardamom, but I'm sure there's a huge scope and farmers don't have to be demotivated by that. There has to be an educated group of leaders that has to emerge and then look into this thing. And I want to share one more thing, like we tried infusing this large cardamom with kiwi wine, and I've just recently bottled that, and it's going to be out in the market. The cardamom, the cost is very high, it's very aromatic, the aroma is very strong, and it's very good also, the large cardamom. So I'm sure it will open up, the markets will open up. Yeah.
Great. All right. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, the lady here and the gentleman. I can't see the one with the blue hand right up. Oh, okay, lady. Okay.
Hello, my name is Sangi. I have come from Mizoram. My question is to any one of the speakers. It's regarding human resource management. So you must have a lot of employees working under you. So these people, they would have known your trade secrets or mechanisms or the way you're taking care of things. So how do you handle those? Because there are certain things that cannot be patented or copyrighted. So they might have the tendency to start up the same thing that you're doing. So how do you handle those things? That's my question.
So thanks for the question. So so are you an HR or are you a startup founder? I just want to know. Okay, I'm not. I just want to know the context. Okay, that's enough. Okay. So what I want to say is that for our story, we hired an HR after 5 years of starting. Okay. So initially, one of the co-founders has to be the HR. Okay. So a startup's or a company's culture is a reflection of the founder. Okay. However person you are, okay, that will be the foundation of the culture when it grows. Okay. You might think that, okay, I don't really need to consider about the culture as of now because we have just 2 people, 5 people organization. Okay. But whatever process or whatever you set up today will be reflected forever. You cannot change that afterwards. All right. And like I said, that you have to be the one who directly handles as many people as possible. So when we were transitioning from say 40 people, 50 people to our current stage, I was very much motivated of this building processes in an organization. Like we hired an HR. We were thinking that okay, we don't really need to interact with our employees anymore. HR will take care. I'm not saying our HR is bad or good. Okay, she's one of the probably she's the most experienced IT human resource person from Northeast India. But I'm saying that when it's a small organization, employees actually look up to the founders, how he or she is behaving or how the culture is built. Okay, so you have to be the one who runs the show, who have to interact daily with them. Of course, you can have a help for say payroll management or whatever, but if it's a less number of people, you don't really need an HR. And regarding those copyrights or patented information trade secrets, okay, like I said, especially for our kind of industry, knowledge-based industry, it's good to have actually more companies. Okay, it will actually turn to help you in a better way. Okay, like I said, like I was referring to earlier. Okay, if you have more companies to your niche area, then of course, you need to have the extra edge over those other companies that will always be needed. But you don't need to really keep worrying about all those aspects, okay? Because if it would have been really easy, there would have been already, your computers would already have existed, okay? So stop worrying about all those aspects. Did that answer your question, by the way? Okay, thank you.
The lady in blue, yes.
Yeah, hi. My question is to Mr.
Your name and where you're from, please.
Yeah, I am from Meghalaya. My name is Swagati Paul. So I am an HR as well.
Okay.
Okay, currently I work in a company in an IT plus hospitality. So I heard about you a lot. You are
Oh,
an
really?
emerging,
Hope it's good ones.
yeah, you're an emerging person in Assam. I just heard about you a lot. So I just want to ask you that what is your view about recruiting people in future and in present?
Oh, yes, sure. So like I was referring earlier that, you should be open to working on any aspect, okay? So it's not like you can sit, okay, it's not like I'm I'm a finance guy, I will just work on finance, okay? If you're a startup founder, you have to do everything by yourself. So when we started in 2015-16, it was really a bad time for us because everyone was going outside for jobs, okay? Right out of campus, they were going outside, okay? And at that point of time, non-computer science or non-engineering people were not taking up software development, okay, as a career, all right? So all the first probably 20-25 employees I recruited myself, okay, through LinkedIn, through referrals or whatever aspects. So probably I spend most of my time in recruitment, okay, because it's a obvious obvious mindset of when you think from an employee perspective, okay, why would they come just for my company? Because IT industry, every 2-3 years people change their the companies, right? What happens if TechVariable shuts down tomorrow? Because at that point of time we were just a year-old or 2-year-old company. We didn't have the brand value, and they were just asking, okay, what if it shut down tomorrow? You have already heard startups are not able to pay, right? So those questions were there. So I really had a tough time convincing people that, hey, come on, we are good, we are the good guys, and we'll pay you well, whatever. So even they were not concerned about the payments, salaries, okay. So that's what I was saying, that if we have 100 IT companies like us, things will get better for us, because okay, my 50 people may leave tomorrow, but I will have 100 companies from which I can recruit. Okay, now that TechVariable is a stable company, at least the brand value is there, and there are more companies coming up in the last few years. So it's actually getting easier for us, and students, right when they are in the first year, second year of their graduation or in their colleges, they are actually planning their career in such a way that, okay, I don't need to go outside, because once you are out to Bangalore or any other state, it's very difficult to come back, at least when you don't have a concrete problem in your family or within yourself, okay. So now things are getting actually good, and people, students are actually planning out their career. Okay, first 2-3 years I will go to TechVariable, then I will go to this company, then I will have a good career, and these work from home opportunities are coming up, which are again bad for us as well, not good, okay. Positives, negatives, both are there, but your job will be getting easier every other day, okay.
So as you say,
Sorry, for no follow-up questions, we will give the opportunity to others. Can you please
Me
raise?
later on probably.
He'll be around for lunch and dinner, most probably.
Yeah, I'll be here for the whole day.
All right. Yes, the gentleman over here and the lady over here, we will try our best. Okay. Sorry. One question only. Can we do the second one? The second question. Imtisunep, would you like scalability and financing?
I think if you want details, then you'll have to do a 5-hour session together. But then on a absurd note, it's how you train a baby, or say raise the baby. It's how you raise your bank accounts. That means your relationship with the banks. So it's, of course, we all need money to grow from 1 store to 2 stores, from 2 stores to 4 stores, right? So, but then if you think that, okay, I'm just going to start now, and then like, okay, you go to a bank and say, give me money, MSME loan or whatever loan, do you think that you will get? Most probably you would not get, because your credit score might be below 500 because you never took a loan, maybe, because it's all technical, but then you'll have to start building your trust with the bank as a saving account as well. Saving account, you keep on building your trust. Later on, you create a current account, a business account with them. Because you can't suddenly get, and especially Northeast, for many banks is the black zone or something, like, so make sure that you start using that financials from now on. Maybe 2 years down the line, you'll start getting calls that, okay, take money from my bank. So it's how you raise small babies. It's exactly same as that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, would either one of you want to answer on scalability and financing? Yeah, okay. All right. They will be around for lunch, so you can meet them in person and ask. The lady here? Yes.
Hello, sir. I'm Anjali Dev from the state of Tripura. So my question is to Sir Longchar. Sir, Northeast has abundance of bamboo resources, and it is being used widely for crafts and domestic purpose. Currently, we are using it for, in Tripura, we have industries which are converting bamboo resource into bamboo wood to tackle climate change and reduce the use of timber wood. So, sir, what is your views on the sustainability of this particular resource, especially when the plantation is not on focus, but the usage? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. Surprisingly, bamboo is one of the fastest growing trees, or say grass, right? So I think that is one resource that is largely abundantly available in Northeast India. Like if you go to Meghalaya, if you go to Nagaland, if you go to Tripura. So I think it should not be a worry part, but then we should take it as an opportunity. Of course, we need to keep on growing, right? We need to keep on growing, because we can't just wipe up the entire forest just for the sake of making those bamboo plywood, right? Bamboo plywood. So there should be some organizations that make sure that, because bamboo grows super fast. If you see the shoot today, maybe 1 week down the line, the shoot is almost this much. So I think we have to take it as an opportunity. However, the focus has to be there in growing them as well, through individual effort, through societal effort. So that's what we have to take care of. Thank you.
Wait, we will take questions for the sake of equality, one from Nagaland, one from Manipur. Any other state that we missed out? Mizoram is done, Assam is done, Tripura is done. Okay, one from Manipur and one from Nagaland. We're from Manipur and somewhere back there from Nagaland? Yeah, okay. One from Manipur, one from Nagaland.
It's a blessing for us to have a live discussion. My question goes to Ma'am Rita. Yeah, as you suggest to have to maintain a proper financial record. Yeah, I'm planning to. I have started my integrated business farming. Yeah, as you say, to maintain a proper financial record. In order to maintain a proper financial record, we need like a bank account with details. But the question comes up is that, suppose if we, in order to maintain proper financial record, if we maintain that, in like a financial year, the income tax department like have a huge like deductions for a startup. So my question is that for a startup like a entrepreneurship like me to reduce like a deduction from income tax, like what would be the like a best way to like reduce the income tax from taxes for the entrepreneurship?
Okay, so yours is a private limited company or under proprietorship firm? And is it is it like Startup India registered or your own? You're aspiring to be, right?
I am like I am on starting with my own individual way. But suppose if I go with like registration, that means I am compulsion to pay for income tax. So in order not to pay that things, I like.
Can I answer that? Yeah. If you register as a private limited company, there's a tax holiday for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and then they mean tax holiday, matlab, you don't have to pay tax, okay? But then you have to pay GST, right?
Yeah.
So for the services or the products that you sell. Are you from Nagaland?
Manipur.
Manipur. I'm sure every state has this reimbursement from every government. Nagaland has about 75% reimbursement of this GST, which whatever GST amount that you pay to the central government, the state government will reimburse that. So there are no, that's what I'm saying. You have to go read the the policies that are there by your own individual state government. I'm sure Manipur would have it because Nagaland is not the best in terms of all this.
So read all the policy documents once you go back. All right, yes, delegate from Nagaland.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Really interesting story from all of you. My question is related to policy and lawmaking. One question I wanted to ask is, for entrepreneurs, all sort of entrepreneurs, upskilling their business is one of their aspirations for most of the entrepreneurs. So, and we have discussed the financial aspect of upscaling our businesses as well. But keeping in mind the sustainability goals, where do you think we should draw the line in upscaling our businesses? Where should we, how far can we go? Where should we hold back, you know? Because when we talk about industrialization, the effects, the consequences, I think all of us are aware about the consequences that comes with industrialization. I mean, upscaling our business to a very large extent. So where should we draw the line? How far should we go? If any of you can answer the question.
Great, thank you. I think this question, if all of you can answer, and with final message to young people, maybe it could be a concluding remarks too.
Okay, I'll give a very brief answer to this. I think as a company, like as a startup or whatever, from whichever level you start, I think there's no need to draw any line to grow your business. See why? You should aspire for this fortune. And you know, you should just think like maybe in 5 years, like I want to be in the 100 crore company, then 500 crore company, and then be in the list of fortune under 20s and 30s and 40s, whatever. That should be aspiration. Why draw the line? Because like if you have all things in hand, you start from a very crisp and then very clear idea and with a vision, and you're working hard towards that, and you have everything in place. So like, why should you worry about not scaling up? In fact, like I think within 1-2 years of striving in that region, like of stabilizing all your work, your finance, your HR, and everything else, the next within 2-3 years you should only aspire towards scaling your business. Then another next 2-3 years what? Next 2-3 years what? Like you have to keep scaling, and you have to you have to aim towards becoming a multinational company someday. Why you have to stuck? I mean, there's no need to draw a line. That's all I can say with the company, I must say. And but of course, like see, there are companies like I've heard during COVID we have heard about this cafe coffee day. It was a very sad story, and reading that, like I was so I was so affected, because mine, my product, you all know, like if there's no buyers and if there's no visitors and like when your product doesn't go out, it's not like IT and all those. No, so like it was like a complete like frozen thing. And then I used to pinch my hands and see whether am I dead or alive. But that was the time also, it was an opportunity for me. See, I'll tell you, there was a lot of boycott from the local traders like who own distribution system for this industry. And I don't have any distribution office of my own. So I can't afford that still now. I'm just a manufacturer. And when the distributor is boycotted and the wholesale and the retailers, it doesn't go, my product doesn't go there. So the entire thing, and on top of that, COVID came. But then there was a time that, vocal for local, Atma Nirbhar, all these slogans came. And that time, like I broke one level of syndicacy. People came on their own, the buyers came on their own, put a table on the money, said ki they want to. And why shouldn't you grow? Why should we, stop people from, taking your product? And yeah, so, sky is the limit. So don't stop yourself at any level.
Yeah, on a sustainability point of view, right? It depends on industry to industry, I would say. If I have a coal industry, koila, then maybe it might affect a lot. And as you said, if it grows bigger and bigger, koila will burn a lot, right? So, but then every industry or say every startup, every company has to minutely see, because sustainability is for whom? Kiske liye, right? It's for you and I, right? It's for the earth. Ultimately it's for human being, right? So we need to see, or say we need to make sure that all the check boxes are minutely concentrated on every aspect. When we become 100 to 200 people, right? When we become 1 office to 5 office to 10 office, right? When our warehouses grow from 10 to 100. So, because of course it's all about preserving the environment, because it's all about energy and energy, right? So, but then right now, if we see most of the startups that are sitting here is in a way doing sustainable work in the grassroots level, right? For ma'am, she's helping the farmers have a sustainable socio-economic, right? Like they're helping the farmers get a regular income through their fruits, right? For us, we are doing nothing, but then we have a very simple plan. We're going to sell Northeast products to the rest of the world, to the rest of India, and bring the money back to Northeast. So that's our very simple line. Because what I understand is, if you cannot, or say you can be in any profession, you can be in business, you can be an entrepreneur, whatever. If you cannot define your idea, or say your business in one line, like if you're not clear about what you do, then that means I guess we are all doomed. So yeah, sustainability is something very important that we make sure that we check every bit of it when we grow. So thanks for that question. Yeah.
One more thing I want to add on sustainability is like, I just want to share my experience again. Last year in US, I was mentored by a worldwide president for a company called, of a company called Beam Suntory. Her name is Jessica Spence. And the company that I was exposed to was, see, like they are the most compliant and sustainable, one of the most compliant and sustainable company in the world. So wherever I went, to different departments that I was exposed to, there was a very big lecture, and 4-5 hours of time I spent on how the company is tackling this sustainability thing. So they buy from the farmers, and then they also do this a lot of check on environment aspects like that. And see, the biggest of the biggest companies, they are 200 years old company. Biggest of the biggest companies, they are so serious about, and they have this sustainability concept in them. So from there, and even before that also, when we started our company, see, why we started organic. It's because of the environment. And we encourage farmers to do organic farming. And apart from that, like, see, again, in the processing part, like the wine industry, earlier, like they had this big oak barrels. They cut down big oak trees and then make huge building size oak barrels and then ferment the fruits there to turn it into wine. But nowadays they use something called oak chips and oak blocks. Likewise, in my very small this tank hall, I import these oak chips from France, and then I use it for aging there. And the tanks that we use this SS304 steel tanks, which are food grade. And why we won't be able to buy those oak barrels from foreign countries, because nowadays environmentalists are hell bent on banning all this kind of reckless cutting down of trees and all this. Yes, it's very important, right from the very small company to the biggest of big, how the small companies grow big, because they have all these principles in hand of sustainability, of how to manage this human resource, their rights and all that. So this has to be there. Your principle, your vision, it has to be very clear in your mind. It has to be in your fingertips, and these principles has to be written down like a preamble in your company. So that's how you survive and you become sustainable company also. But don't stop yourself from growing big. Okay, and CCD, I was talking, the story is now a happy ending, because they had, at that time when the founder died, he jumped from a bridge and then died. But now the wife took over, the lady took over. They had a debt of around 7,000 crore. Imagine, 7,000 crore debt. And then I read recently that now they have just, their daughter, son and a daughter also joined. And how that lady, she renegotiated with the stakeholders. How, that art, that skill, just can you imagine? The founder himself is not there, and 7,000 crore debt is nothing. I mean, it's so huge, And within this 2-3 years period, COVID was just 2 years back, it has reduced to just 200 crore debt, and that is nothing, I must say. And that 200 crore is nothing for this company, for CCD. So that is the power of negotiation skill. And every company can sustain, provided, as someone told, the founder, the person who is handling in the beginning has to be of someone who has that power to really have that vision and the principles in hand. Yeah, thank you for taking extra time.
Okay, so this is what I fundamentally believe. Assam and Northeast as a whole, we are lacking behind in many number of years, probably decades, compared to Bangalore, Delhi, and other metropolitan cities. We are very poor, okay, whatever the government index might show, okay. So whenever, but we have the human potential, which I said. But so whenever someone asks me, what do you do? I say that, okay, I'm into IT, I build softwares, I serve global clients. Then, okay, tell me more. I say, okay, we bring dollars and euros to Assam. Okay, that's the fundamental thing that we really do, and it helps build the economy. It creates more jobs. Okay, so now my question is that, should I stop? Right, I shouldn't stop. Even if I'm retired from TechVariable, I do, X number of years, this will always be my fundamental belief that, okay, we need to help the region grow, we need to create more jobs. Okay, we are falling behind and we need to catch up. So that question would never come, that when should I stop, or am I doing too much? Okay, because I started here for a reason. I could have started anywhere in the country. I was in Delhi, I was in Kerala, my friend was in Mumbai. So it was actually a better place for us to start, and people still say that you should have started, you could have grown more. But fundamentally, I would not have been driven so much to build a company. Maybe when I was facing hardships, I would have joined I would have gone back to job. I'm not saying job holders are doing not good, but I'm saying that I wouldn't have had the drive to serve my community, to create more jobs. Okay, so that's how I calculate my happiness. Okay, because like I said, we need to always, everyone is driven by a different fundamental aspect. Okay, if you are driven by money, that's not bad. Okay, we need to accept that, okay, I'm doing business for money. That's a good answer. rather than saying, I don't know, I just did it because I was tired of my job. You need to have that fundamental drive which made you start your company. And I think once you have that drive and once you start a company, no one can actually stop, right? They'll keep on doing something, directly or indirectly, because it doesn't go away sooner or later. That's how I believe. Okay, I guess that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much. One thing I've learned is your determination to help the region. Grit and humility is what truly drives all of you, and it's a privilege for us to hear your story, and we're grateful for your presence here today. You have truly made a mark in the Northeast. You have put a mark for people to look at the Northeast, and we are confident to say that you are leaders of the region. So can we give a big round of applause to the entrepreneurs here?